If your concealer creases, looks dry, turns gray, disappears by the end of the day, or somehow makes your under eyes looks older, this video is for you. Because most of the time, the problem isn't only the concealer, it's the shade, the formula, the prep, the placement, and the way you set it. Today, I'll show you how to fix it like a makeup artist. We are doing a real concealer lesson. I asked you what you struggle with the most, and the answers were very clear. Concealer creasing, dry under eyes, wrinkles, texture, disappearing during the day, oily T-zone, wrong shades, and not knowing how many concealers you actually need. So today I want to organize your knowledge about everything. And before we start, we need to understand what concealer can and cannot do. So concealer can cover darkness, redness, pigmentation, blemishes, and discoloration. But concealer cannot erase natural skin texture, wrinkles, folds, or movement. And this is where many people make the biggest mistake. They see lines or texture under the eyes and they apply more concealer. But the more product you apply on moving skin, the more product has to crease somewhere. So the goal is to correct only what needs correction and leave the rest of the skin looking alive. One of the questions was, how many concealers do I actually need? Technically, you can use one, but if you want your makeup to look more polished and more natural, 2 concealers are usually better. The first one should match your skin or foundation. This is your face concealer. This concealer should disappear into your skin. And the second one can be slightly brighter, or I would say slightly more corrective for the under eye areas. But when I say brighter, I don't mean 3 shades lighter. Usually half a shade to 1 shade lighter is enough. And corrector is optional. The problem is that the color underneath is not neutralized, so if you have red areas like blemishes or around the nose, you may need a corrector. Now let's talk about color theory, because this is where concealer starts to make sense. A lot of people think if my under eye area dark, I need a lighter concealer. But this is not always true. Light concealer makes the area lighter. That's right. It doesn't automatically cancel darkness. So if you apply a very light beige concealer over the blue or purple under eyes, the result can look gray, or I would say sky blue and purple, lavender. If you apply it over brown darkness, it can look ashy. And that's why sometimes you need corrector first. And this is our corrector map. Green for redness, around the nose, blemishes, rosacea, and red spots. Orange for deeper darkness or deeper skin tones. Peach or salmon for blue, purple, or gray under eyes on fair to medium skin. Yellow for purple tones or dullness, usually on light to medium skin. Pink for dull, tired-looking fair skin or slightly brightening. I like to use it to the inner corners. It really opens up the eyes and makes me somehow awake. But the biggest mistake with corrector is using too much. Corrector should be almost invisible after blending. You don't want to see peach, orange, or green on the skin. You just want the discoloration to look softer. Color theory tip, my favorite part of the video. If you don't want to buy a new shade, try mixing what you already have at home. Pink blush, eyeshadows, or creamy products can help adjust the undertone. The texture can become a bit more drying, especially if you mix with the powder eyeshadows. But please be careful if you have sensitive skin. And if you want to understand color theory for concealer better, I have another video where I explain undertones, tones, corrections. One of the best questions was, are there concealers that are hydrating and high coverage at the same time? Yes, I would say, but with a warning. The more coverage a concealer has, the more pigment it usually contains. And more pigment can look heavy on dry or textured skin if you use too much. So when a concealer is hydrating and full coverage, it doesn't mean you can apply a thick layer and expect it to look invisible. It means the formula may feel more flexible and comfortable, but you still need thin layers. And my professional rule is if you want high coverage, use less product and place it only where the darkness is strongest. Another big mistake is expecting one concealer to behave the same on every part of the face. The skin under the eyes is thin, the nose can be oily, and the chin can have texture, the same way as a forehead. So we are going to talk about formula map. Under the eyes, it must be flexible, lightweight, hydrating, and satin finish, medium coverage. So when you are blending this kind of flexible concealer texture, try not to smile, talk, or move your face too much right away. The formula needs a moment to set. Some ingredients need to evaporate and some need to absorb into the skin. If you smile immediately, the product can settle into the lines and create uneven layers. And if it does happen, don't worry, just gently tap and even it out again before setting. Also, let's talk about brushes. First of all, they must be clean. For concealer and cream textures, I prefer synthetic brushes. So this is my favorite shape. It's a flat brush, fast, easy to use, and almost imitates the shape of my fingertip. Also, the other flat and sharp brush, it's also perfect for cleaning the edge. Fluffy brush is the classic concealer brush. It has a more working surface compared to the previous flat brushes. So it's easy to sweep back and forth and blend the edges softly. It gives you less control and slightly lighter coverage. And the last one is a small pointed pencil brush for precision. This is for tiny areas, the dark inner corner, tear duct, small blemishes, or any spot where you need to build coverage exactly where the darkness is. So you can also use it to apply highlighter or concealer in the very specific areas. After blending, gently roll the handle of your brush under the eyes. You will see the excess product appear on the surface. So this removes that unnecessary top layer of concealer before it settles into the fine lines. Look at the difference one more time. Literally 2 seconds can make the skin look smoother. Okay, let's come back to the map. So if we are talking about blemishes, of course, it must be more pigmented, slightly drier, skin match, and precise application. If we are talking about concealers, which we need to apply around the nose, it's also skin match, thin layer, long wearing if you get oily in that area. Oily T-zone needs less skincare, long wear formulas, targeted powder. For dry areas, hydrating prep, flexible formula, minimal powder. And always please read what they say on the packaging. Serum, glow, radiant, moisturizing, hyaluronic acid, everything is all about glow and hydration. That already tells you where this concealer will work best. So on dry areas where the skin needs more flexibility and radiance, right? Different areas need different formulas. If the under area is dry, concealer will grab onto the texture and fine lines. But if you apply too much eye cream, the concealer can slide, separate, crease. So apply tiny amount of lightweight eye cream, moisturizer, or balm. And even if you are going to apply a very dry, high coverage concealer, this step helps prevent it from emphasizing skin texture. So the difference is amazing. So swipe under the eyes on the clean skin, then wait a few seconds and let it settle. Now let's talk about placement. Please forget the huge triangle technique for everyday makeup. It can look good under studio lighting, but in real life it often creates texture. Look straight into the mirror and find where the darkness actually is. Usually in a corner, tear trough, small shadow under the eye, outer corner for lift. Not everywhere, not directly into the wrinkle, not a huge layer under the whole eye or along the lash line. Just that place, and that's it. Warming up creamy textures is so important. They start to melt into the skin and blend so much better. Try this with your concealer and tell me how this tip works for you. Blending is not about moving concealer back and forth, and tools can help you with this. So brush gives you precision and coverage. Finger can give you warmth, melts product into the skin better. Sponge gives a natural finish but can remove coverage. And puff, setting, and pressing product smoothly. Love it. My favorite technique is apply with a small brush, wait a few seconds, blend the edges with a finger or sponge, and then press everything into the skin. And here's one of my favorite professional tricks. So after you tap out the creases, take a small puff with a very small amount of powder. Not baking, not a heavy layer. Then gently wiggle the puff exactly where concealer usually creases, around the inner corner, a tear throw, and tiny folds. But again, use very little powder. Don't swipe side to side with an old, sharp brush. The under eye area is very delicate, and a brush like this can irritate the skin. And don't apply powder directly on the top of the eye cream. It may look smooth for the first few minutes, but after 15 minutes, the product can mix with the cream. Eye cream is slippery, so powder can't set it properly. If you wear glasses, especially in the heat, you probably know these little marks from the nose pads. So don't rub this area. Apply a tiny amount of lightweight powder to the area where your glasses touch the skin. And also lightly powder the nose pads. So this helps absorb sweat and oil. And now you know everything about concealer. Basically, you're experts now. But remember, knowing the theory isn't enough. You need to train your eye, practice seeing undertones, observe, analyze, and keep improving your skill. The real difference comes from the repetition, and the more you try, compare, and adjust, the better your makeup will look. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. See you soon. Have a beautiful weekend.